never got the news that I'm a wild one. Oh yeah, I'm a wild one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel down, cause you're watching Wild Mike and his real wild child. Oh yeah, I'm a wild one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel down, cause you're watching Wild Mike and his real wild child.
Howdy, folks. Is Vile Mike here, and with me so far is my Californian brother, Elihu. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm here physically, almost here, not mentally, partially. What's up, Jordan?
Let's be honest, you're rarely here mentally, and they're full.
Yeah.
Jordan's in the chat. How you doing, man? Yeah. You said you were sick earlier. You're feeling much better, though?
Yeah, I had a temperature over 100.
God damn.
Yeah, I know.
And we have Darren in the chat as well, or not in the chat, on the panel. How you doing, Darren?
Yeah, I'm totally in the chat. Anyway, yeah, Elihu, who you're never mentally here anyway, so we
That's what I said.
Sometimes I am.
Yeah. Just hold on a second. I gotta, tick off a couple boxes here for the morning. Let's see. Go to church, check. Disrupt church life, check. Okay, I'm on Vile Mike Square now. Okay, good.
Dude, you forgot to put the check mark. Piss off Elihu.
Well, I don't think that's worth even putting a check mark on. I mean,
Well, that's automatically.
That goes without saying. I mean, that's.
That's automatically anyway.
But so you're saying I pissed you off, though, huh?
Well, better be pissed off than pissed on. So hey.
Oh yeah.
But let's be honest, Darren. There are people on this panel, myself included, that don't think that you're here all mentally all the time either.
Of course, yeah. But I have had at least one cup of coffee so far, and I'm working on my second one here in a moment. So.
Oh crap! Get more caffeine.
Yeah.
Well, just before I started the stream, I added a little bit more of that Johnny Walker Red to my coffee.
Disgusting.
Yep.
Oh, is that a booze? Is that a booze?
He likes Johnny Walker Red over black. Cheapskate.
Yeah. Because if I'm gonna do a single malt, I wanted it to be a single barrel, not a blend.
Ah. Gotcha.
That's why I don't. Right, Johnny Walker Red is better because it's not a single malt and it's a blend.
Well, isn't that special?
No, what's going
So,
on? Isn't that special?
why don't we go ahead and start off with the topic? Do you guys have any holiday plans?
I have a new niece, so she'll be dominating pretty much the whole holiday this year, as she should. And so no, it'll be for me. It'll be a relatively normal holiday season.
So you actually celebrate with your family and everything?
I do, yeah.
Because my extended family tends not to do anything for Christmas ever since my grandmother died.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, the family kind of fell apart after that because they all started squabbling over the will.
Oh, that'll do it. Money.
But I'm still planning on, maybe not on Christmas Day, but I'm going to be spending some time with the Vile kids. I got presents for them.
Yeah.
We went Christmas shopping last night to buy their present for their mom, or at least the younger kid's mom. Caddy's 19, so I'm trusting her to do everything on her own. She's got her own job. She's got her own money. She can do her own shopping for now.
Right.
But depending on how things go, I might be going down to Mexico next weekend. So I'll be spending Christmas with her family.
Nice. You got somewhere to go. That's good.
What about you, Elihu? You just going to be spending the holidays getting baked?
I don't do Christmas.
Why not?
I think it's dumb.
I tend to agree a little bit with Elihu on
What the
this.
hell? Get more coffee in your system. You're agreeing with me, dude. What is wrong with
But
you?
no, this is fine. No, see, because I've never, for example, owned a Christmas tree, right? Somebody found out, and my family found out that I didn't have one, so they took it upon themselves to get me a little plastic one. It is in the box, unopened. It's never, it's been in my walk-in closet, and I've never had a desire to pull it out and decorate it. And part of the reason is because you know the, the 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 holiday is one of those pagan holidays that Christianity kind of usurped in terms of like the date, because there was already a holiday that were around this time that
Sangiel?
was
Sangiel?
it was yeah, and so if you're gonna celebrate the birth of the Messiah, you would do it probably around or about when he supposedly or when he actually was born, and that
Well,
was closer to September. So so I understand what the holiday is supposed to be, but it's not that. And
well, as a non-believer, I tend to celebrate the secular aspects of it and the
yeah,
commercialization of it, of course. So
right,
I have no problems with a tree. Last night, I took the kids and Mrs. Vile out Christmas light watching. There's a couple areas here in San Diego where we could drive slowly and look at people who had decorated their houses with different displays.
right.
And, you know, that's what we did last night for fun after we did Christmas shopping.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
to
I mean
me,
it's a pretty. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, to me, Christmas is just a holiday that's for everybody at this point. Its religious aspects can be held by those who hold it dearly, but for everyone else, it can just be a fun holiday.
Right, right. And I see no reason. I'm not out there protesting. Take down your Christmas tree lights or anything like that. I'm not that. I'm just not participating the same way that maybe others would. And it's yeah,
Yeah, to me, it's just not a religious holiday anymore, and I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it can just be a day that was based in religion that now has a fun connotation for everybody.
right. I mean
I
it's
remember. Go ahead.
the, yeah, the whole the whole Christmas tree thing. I mean that came from you know pagan druidism and stuff, and it is basically an altar in your house. So that's not something Christians are supposed to do. You get to the Easter celebration, and it's all pagan fertility symbols like eggs and rabbits and
Yeah.
things like that. So I mean, it's it, there's a separation there that I like to maintain. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, I completely agree with you when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, like last night, some of the houses we had were all decked up with Christian imagery, crosses. One guy had
Right.
the Ten Commandments in his yard, and you know what? As long as it looks pretty, I don't have a problem with it. Uh, Other people had
Yeah.
like Star Wars decorations up.
Honestly, the Ten Commandments aren't even a Christmas thing. That's you know basically, especially when you consider that one of Christ's jobs when he came to Earth was to sort of eliminate the Ten Commandments and replace them with only two, right? So that's an interesting choice for somebody to have made as part of their Christmas
And
decorations.
I just want to say hey to LDG since he joined us.
It's Florida man.
So, guys,
How's Kermit doing?
I haven't seen him in a few days, but I hope he's all right. Heard
I
he
thought
might
he
be
was
coming to
visiting.
Florida.
Yeah.
What is that now? Is he here now? I don't know. He hasn't said anything. He just mentioned it.
No.
But yeah,
Yeah.
what are your holiday plans, LDG?
Work, and more work. Let's talk more do.
He's going to worship at the altar of himself.
Well, things are balls are
Because
officially rolling over here, so I ain't got time to screw around with with holidays. I had plenty of holidays. I could take one holiday, a couple of holidays off to get some more things done. So on my new desk, new studio office, loving it.
Well, I recently just gave my desk to Mrs. Vile. Right now she has half of it. The other half is still in storage. I got to bring the other half to her. It's a 50s era rolling top desk. But because I moved to a smaller storage unit, I just don't have a way to work at that desk and still fit and sit down because I'm too fat. But I'm going to check the calendar real quick because I can't remember. Okay, so Christmas Eve will be the next show, or at least the next CNA stream. So I'm trying to think, because I'm not going to be working Thursday because that's my birthday. Or not this Thursday, next Thursday. The Thursday after Christmas.
Gotcha.
So I might do a little live stream on that day just because it's my birthday and I can. So screw it. But
There we go.
I don't know. Oh no, now he's closer.
Well, other camera.
Yeah, I actually almost bought another camera, but with the issues my laptop is having, and girl is in the house. How you doing, man?
I'm doing there.
Do me a favor. Explain
here.
what you mean by making a duck.
I got duck in the freezer. I'm gonna thaw it out, throw it in the oven. I can't throw it in the smoker because my aunt doesn't like smoked food.
Okay, because when you said making a duck, the first thing I'm thinking is he's carving a duck out of wood. That was what in my head you meant.
Well, I guess that could have been worse thoughts.
Or you were typing making a fuck in autocorrect.
I only wish, Elihu. I only wish. Hey, Pickles, I heard you're gonna end up like You might end up like Dorothy here from Wizard of Oz.
What's that? Is there a storm coming?
But I've seen that there's a tropical storm with a bunch of tornadoes mixed in with it.
Yeah, I've been
really?
hearing about that with my friend Antonio in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that yet. Oh, it's been pretty windy out.
It's aiming, and the big headline was tropical storm with tornadoes headed straight for Disney World.
Yeah, I've been reading that too.
Well, the only reason they put Disney World in there is just for clickbait.
He lives about a 10-minute drive from Disney World, so.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, 6 minutes the way he drives. Forgot about that. Sharp turn. Damn it.
Hey, you got to keep up with the flow of traffic.
No, there was no traffic.
Hey,
He
listen.
just made a harsh right turn. Like, oh shit, this lane.
Hey, Yvette, dear God. Elihu,
Wow.
my driving in a car doesn't come close to your driving in a freaking scooter, okay? You literally like almost committed hit and runs left and right on people. Like, I don't know how you didn't run people over when we were there.
I'm a good driver.
Beep, beep, get out of the way. I'm handicapped. Like, what?
If you would actually stop and look at your phone, stop looking up for your phone and walk normally and look where you're going, you won't get hit.
See? He defends it. All right, there you go. He defended it.
I even stopped, honked up, beeped that little horn. This dude was still walking toward me. I'm like, shit, come on, dude, pay attention.
Yeah.
What is your wall?
So anybody
Oh,
watch
Lord.
my new video that I uploaded yesterday with a nice LDG thumbnail?
I did not see it, but then again, I haven't been on YouTube since Thursday.
Nope.
Okay, that's a no. All right. All righty. So far, the
You wanna
harshest
do-
comment is from Bird.
Darren, if you want to post the link, go ahead.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, let me go ahead and see if I can do that.
What did Bird say?
He was very curt. I don't have a wrench on your channel so it doesn't linkify, but there it is.
All right.
I'll put it in the private chat too. Oh, wait a minute, that's not it. Never mind. That's the StreamYards one. All right, never mind. Good thing it didn't linkify. But let's see. Let's see if I can do it the right time or the right way here.
Yeah, if you post it in the private chat, I'll copy and paste it for you.
Right.
Without giving you spoilers, what's the main subject of this video?
It's my top 5 doctors in Star Trek.
Do any of the doctors from the last 5 years of shows on that list at all?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually do have. Yeah.
Didn't Trek Culture do a top 10 doctors already?
Enjoy it.
I saw a video from Trek Culture that had the top 10 doctors the other day.
Well, yes, many people have done videos about their top X number of doctors, but this is the first one I've done for my channel. It also is part of the From a Submariner's Perspective series, so there's the link in private chat. And so, that's countdown videos are supposedly more popular than some of the things I've been doing, so I thought I'd do this. So far, it hasn't taken off yet, but you just wait for the algorithm to decide to bestow upon you the the blessing of views.
Because it looks like it didn't.
What's that?
Hold on. Did the link appear the way I wanted it to? Because it looks like it combined words.
No, that's the link in private. The second one, not the first one that says StreamYard in it. The second one there. That's the one when you create the video. That's the link that YouTube gives you. So that works.
I don't think you have
and Mrs. Vile's in the chat, so everyone say hi to Mrs. Vile.
Oh, no, Mrs. Cardenas.
I said everybody says hi to Mrs. Vile.
Hello, Mrs. Vile. How are you?
I don't want to be
Hi, Mr. Vile.
Jeez. LDG? LDG?
What happened? Hey, what's going on?
Jeez.
What?
What? You act like I swear, LDG, you act more like my teenage daughters than my teenage daughters sometimes.
Bro, I am doing multiple things. I'm sorry. What did I miss? Someone said hi to me?
No.
No, I said Mrs. Vile's in the chat. Everybody say hi to Mrs. Vile.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Vile. Hi, Mrs. Vile. How you doing? Mwah.
Yes,
How you doing?
he can be taught.
No, I'm literally having flashbacks to my 13-year-old daughter being on her phone last night, and we're trying to say something to her, and we have to say it 3 times before she realizes we're talking to her.
That's when you take the phone away. After the second time, you take the phone away.
Dude, no, that's too mean. You take the charger away. Even let them have their phone. You take their charger.
Yeah, but a charger's is very easy to replace. $5 you can have a new charger.
Try to make everybody say hi like yesterday with the kids. Yes. Because as I was saying earlier, Mrs. Vile and 3 of the Vile kids and I went Christmas light watching last night. So, Jordan, since we everyone else already said it, what are your holiday plans?
Basically, I'm going to make a duck and hopefully the people will show up. Otherwise, I got nothing planned.
Are you making the duck for Christmas?
You were
I'm making the duck for Christmas.
So why are you working on it now?
No, it's still in the freezer.
Okay, I was confused. I thought you were making the duck today.
No, you asked what our Christmas plans are, and I said I was making a duck.
Okay, yeah, you got to be more use more words when you're typing it into the chat, because when you said making a duck, I'm thinking it's something you're doing today. Because I'm stupid.
All right, hey, Vile. Anybody knows? I'm looking for a name. Go ahead,
Well-
Gorilla. I'll say after you're done.
Go ahead and finish.
Yeah, I was going to say, today's plans is I'm giving all the Cub Scout kids a massive sugar high with these homemade mints for the Christmas party. They're going to all load up on these mints and then have a massive sugar high.
That works.
Because they're literally
Not for
like, they're literally
You got to do it
80%
just
sugar.
before you send them back.
No, the party's only an hour.
Yeah, so you load them up on sugar before you send them back to their parents.
No, their parents are going to be there.
Okay.
All right.
What were you saying,
What
LDG?
were you gonna say?
All right, so I need to know, what do you call? Okay, so if you have a light, right, and you have the pole that goes up and down, makes it bigger and smaller, and then you have that thing in the middle. When you get it to a certain height, you twist it and it tightens it so it stops. What do you call that piece?
I'm so glad your sound is on, LVG. Look at your hand gestures.
Extender?
Yeah, I know
light
exactly.
extender?
It's not far from the
Light
truth, but yeah,
extender?
what? No,
Light
the
extender?
pole itself, right? You have the pole itself, right?
You're talking about
But
a
you have-
tripod.
Yeah.
Like a tripod, and then on a tripod, you lift up the top part, gets higher and lower. You can adjust for height.
An extender.
Stays on the ground, but but the thing that you turn to tighten it so it doesn't move anymore.
It's called a knob. You're looking for a square, round, circle plastic piece that is a screw onto another plastic piece, right? A cap.
It's not a
Yeah,
cap. It's
tightening
just
knob?
a tightening knob. Okay, tightening
Tightening
knob.
knob?
That would be better than knob. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Well, I was going to look up on Google parts of a tripod and see what happens. I'm gonna leave safe search on though.
Oh, you're taking half the fun out of it. You're taking half the fun out of it. You gotta type it in up here on the channel there and play search roulette. Kind of like I was playing skip roulette with Trading Spaces last night. They're trying to get past the titty scenes.
Okay, it is called a elevator lock nut. Did you hear that, LDG?
Yeah, got it.
And he just disappeared. Look at that.
You made him
I was
disappear.
I was testing it again because one of the things I ordered, I think they gave me an open box and sold it as brand new. Because half of it doesn't work, and B, it came completely. You know how they have a box and they put those little circular plastic things on the lips that you have to like break to open up. All three of them were broken when I got the box, and then the one that's on the front of the box, someone put a sticker, a smaller circular, on top of the one that was there to keep it closed, but the one underneath was broken, like all the way through. So I think they sent me an open box or something, and I can't connect the light to my Wi-Fi.
Hold on, this is going to sound really pedantic, but as someone who sells on eBay, was it sold new or was it sold as new?
It was sold new. I bought it from the company. This wasn't an Amazon purchase. This was from Elgato.
Okay, if you bought it from Amazon, Amazon may have been the ones that did that, not the seller.
I'm sorry, did you not just hear me? I bought it from Elgato.
Direct from the source.
On Elgato's website.
Okay, then never. You said Amazon, so.
Hey, Mike, your mic keeps going in and out.
Yeah, your mic is going in and out. And there's a second vial mic down below. Is that a thing?
Yes.
Don't bring that one up.
Don't bring that up? Okay.
That's how.
That's
he's
because
maintaining
I'm having a
civilization.
delay again. So I'm on. I'm talking to you guys through the cell phone, but the other file mic at the bottom is the laptop, so I can actually run everything.
He's trying to maintain stabilization on the stream.
Yeah, Elihu helped me test. I still have a freaking delay of about 3 seconds for some reason. I have no idea why when I'm using the laptop.
Huh.
Part of me is thinking I'm gonna frickin' save everything to one of my external hard drives and reformat the whole computer. See if that helps. Because it's only happening on the frickin' laptop. It's not happening on the cell phones, the tablet, anything else.
Weird. I need more coffee. Be right back.
So, what else have you guys done this week other than work? Because that's mostly what I did this week.
I worked there. Oh, I know. I forgot to do. I was going to be doing some more pre-record stuff for my channel.
What kind of stuff you working on?
One of my favorite series that I've read quite a few times over the last few years is The Keys to the Kingdom by Garth Nix there. And I'm just going through doing explanations of the different areas there and the comparisons to the, like, you could tell there's a lot of stories from the Bibles, like the trustees represent the 7 deadly sins, while the will is supposed to represent the 7 virtues and stuff. Then you can get a lot of comparisons there. Like, I was going to compare the border sea to Noah's flood and stuff like that.
Is this a sci-fi series or what is this?
Fantasy. It's a fantasy series.
It's the same genre as Incarnations of Immortality.
And MB says he was sick. Elihu was sick. One of the Vile kids was sick earlier this week. So it's that time of year.
The ex is sick, but I told her to make me sick so I can have a couple days off work, but she won't do it.
Well, did anyone watch anything? Because I'm still trying to catch up on For All Mankind. Watched another 2 episodes. So the last thing that happened in the last episode was the guy was in one of the trainers and landed in the water.
I have not watched last episode yet.
Well, I'm still on season 2. I'm not on season 4 yet.
I'm going to start watching Monarch, that show here, pretty quick. I wanted to wait for it to all be finished before I subbed it to Apple Plus.
Is that on Apple Plus too? I didn't know.
Hey, Darren, the Russells are a perfect role for duality. Father and son, perfect for duality role. Love it. It's great. You would actually appreciate that, man.
Apparently, NB agrees with you. I'll probably wait to watch Monarch after I finally finish For All Mankind, because as I said, I don't have Apple TV. I'm going over to a friend's house and I'm watching it there with him.
Of course, there's no way Kurt Russell could have flipped that truck by himself with that girl. I'm like, what the hell? Sorry, you'll see what I mean.
But are you talking about Monarch or are you talking about For All Mankind?
Monarch.
And just to make sure I know what I'm talking about, Monarch is the Godzilla show, right?
Correct.
And yes, I realize there's more things in there than Godzilla, but that's the easiest way to think about it.
Have you seen Godzilla -1?
I have not, but I did watch Shin Godzilla about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago or so.
Oh, indeed.
Talk about it. It was a lot better than I thought it was.
I tried to give MB the link so he can watch it. Not sure if he actually watched it, never got back to me or not. But if you ever do watch it, in the first 5 minutes, you'll be saying to yourself, "What the hell just happened? This is so fucking good. This is not a movie. This is an action-packed adventure." I mean, if the first 5 minutes you have action, unlike any other Godzilla movie. You don't have tension, bringing, introduced. No, it's action right there.
Well, what I thought was funny is the Shin Godzilla. What they were, a lot of people I saw in some of the reviews were complaining about how slow it was and how many meeting scenes there were. But according to the director, that was intentional to show how bureaucracy is fucking things up, essentially.
Yeah, every time a disaster happens, nobody listens to the scientist.
Yeah, so that's a movie. I might watch that sooner rather than later. I just try to focus on one show at a time. Although, what was this? I did watch something, and I can't remember what it was now. I think it was Invincible season 2.
I've never seen that show, Invincible.
It's kind of like The Boys, where it's an update of the comic book. Oh, great! I got an ambulance. I'm gonna mute myself.
Seagulls
You guys
and
go ahead.
ambulances. Okay, I guess nobody else wants to talk.
Yeah, it has is season 2 completely done yet of Invincibles?
Jordan, you watch it, don't you?
What, Invincibles?
Yeah.
No, I haven't
Yeah.
watched that since movie night with Matthew.
I mean, I caught up on the first season, but I was waiting for the second season to be completely out before I gave it a whirl.
It's like The Boys, but a cartoonish version. Maybe I will check it out.
Yeah, it's surprisingly good. Although I know some people have complained about certain things, which I'm not going to go into right now. But if you don't know anything about the comic book, I doubt you'll even know or care.
What one is that?
Is season 2 sticking with the comic book at all?
Darren, did you read the original comic book at all?
Which one?
Invincible.
No, I did not read that. I couldn't. I had a budget at that point in my life when it came to comics, and as much as I would have liked to have gotten into Invincible, I never got into it.
Sorry, I can still hear the ambulance or fire truck, and now all the dogs are barking. Can you guys hear it?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear it.
Sorry, I'm gonna mute again until it's gone.
Seagulls, I don't mind. I'm used to them. I have a seagull nest on my roof, so.
Shoo them away.
I can't get on the roof.
Destroy the net. Don't want them back.
Actually, I can't do that. It's a federal law.
How is it against federal law?
Disturbing the natural habitat of a bird, seagull. Can't do that.
I thought that was only.
It's robbing the red hawk of a meal. I have a red hawk's nest 3 blocks away.
Yeah, because I didn't think that. I thought that was only endangered birds.
Well, the red hawk is considered an endangered species. Well, technically, it's coming on the verge. And you want to disrupt their food, cannot destroy a seagull's nest. They eat the eggs. They eat the young. They will eat the seagulls. Hell, the seagulls are rats of the sea. They'll eat anything.
Okay, that was kind of funny. I'm literally watching the ambulance slowly. It's not even going fast. It's slowly going around the park I'm at.
Maybe they don't know where the person's at that needs the help.
I have no idea, but I'm like just watching them because I'm at the park near the house, and I can see the entire road around the opposite side of the park from where I'm at, and I'm just watching it go slowly all the way around the park until it gets out of view. So, but sorry, what were we talking about? I forgot.
Stuff. Invincible. You know.
Yeah, what I was gonna say was his first girlfriend in the comic book, the one that turns out to end up dumping his ass.
Yeah.
Sorry for spoilers.
Fine.
They changed the race of the first girlfriend, basically from a
Interesting.
whitish person to a blackish person. I don't know what her actual ethnicity is in the new show. And some people really complained about that, even though the writer of the comic was like, yeah, we originally wanted to do this after we realized that we made his second girlfriend and his first girlfriend basically looking identical except for the color of their hair. They wanted something to make them more visually distinct.
Yeah.
That was it.
Give her a mole.
Yeah. Have they introduced Anissa yet into the show?
I don't know. They haven't done any of the other Viltrumites yet.
Okay. Because that's where, when she was introduced, and during a particular event that took place, that's when a lot of the fans of the comic book started to really drop off. Because
was that the female on male word we can't say on YouTube?
Yes, the unwanted fun, basically. It was and it was so. I mean, you know, I'm of two minds of it, because yes, I understand that wanting to go into this is okay, I suppose, if it's your comic. Certainly, Kirkman wouldn't have tried this on a Superboy comic or something like that. But the way in which it was went about, and then when he got criticized for it, he kind of tried to do a soft reboot to have it sort of go away. It was an acknowledged error on his part, but there's a lot of ways of looking at it. But I mean, one of the things that it did to the character was it permanently tarnished the Invincible character as well, in a way that
I know you can't say it, but can you enlighten the people who have no clue what the hell you're talking about?
There was
baby making.
There was an assault. Invincible as a character gets assaulted by a woman named Anissa, who is a full-blooded Viltrumite, and is as a result, way stronger and more powerful than he is, and she takes what she wants from him.
Sorry, dude. It's like vaping, but without a V. Okay.
Yeah.
So a female.
I'm just trying.
Female. Yes, a female on male thing, which is extremely rare in our world, does happen, but it's more the thing of male fantasy. Yeah,
isn't that every male's dream?
Yeah. Basically, he became an unwilling sperm donor. That's what he came.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I was reading Invincible through oh God, what are they called when they collect them all in a trade?
A trade paperback. Yeah.
God, I don't know why I couldn't think of it like that, but and I was just borrowing them from the library, and I thought that was probably I thought it was a good idea at the time, because it shows that kind of stuff can happen to somebody, even somebody who thinks they're really strong.
Right.
And it showed, it gave him emotional damage. I'm sorry, I thought it was good.
It did.
Well, look at Taj Al Ghul and what happened with Bruce. There's Damien.
Right.
Okay, that I didn't like because it was a retcon.
Right. And when it's your character, Kirkman, nobody's arguing that he can't do what he wants with his own character. That's not the issue. But he did see a sales drop after that, because a lot of people just checked out at that point. They're like, okay, well, and especially what they did with the Anissa character afterwards. But it's just one of those things where a creator took a chance with his own property, which is what you're kind of supposed to do when you take chances. You really shouldn't take chances with somebody else's property. You should take chances with yours, and that's what happened. So yeah.
And how you doing, Dandelion?
Well,
maybe because I wasn't reading it every month, it didn't have as big as impact on me. And I don't have a problem with broken protagonists.
Well, no, there's
Especially-
nothing wrong with a broken protagonist in general, but there's some okay, so for example, there was a story that was written where somebody wrote a story where it was Bruce Banner, but years before he became the Hulk, but he was in high school, where he essentially became a Columbine kid. He tried to blow up his school with a bomb, and they're trying to give him, you know, emotional damage or whatever, and it's like, yeah, but that's not the best way. He didn't really need any more emotional damage. He's already got a life that sucks, always turning into the Hulk and stuff. So that was an example of something that where they went too far, and especially right after the Columbine incident, and we were still having situations where kids were trying to commit mass murder in high schools, and to have, you know, your childhood hero become one of those kids was a bridge too far for a lot of people. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of a roll of the dice really shouldn't have been done on a character that you know that didn't belong to the creator, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I didn't read that, and it's not something I've ever heard of before, so it's probably retconned away. But as someone who, you know, was involved in one of those,
Right.
yeah, that is kind of disgusting to me. But again, I'm a little bit closer to the subject than a lot of people, so.
Right. Well, the way they justified it was that Banner had, because one of the things that another retcon that happened was that Banner's Hulk personas, plural, all existed in him before the gamma bomb, right? So so it was one of his Hulk personas, the gray one, that motivated him to design the bomb. Now, when he's thwarted, the army looks at the sophistication of the bomb and says, this guy's a genius. Let's try to get him on an academic track so we can get him making bombs for us, which isn't realistic either. And then that was also, you know, sort of a explanation for why General Ross never wanted Banner to have anything to do with his daughter. Well, he already had that motivation. Ross didn't think scientists were real men. So, you know, that was his general reason for it. But, you know, you get a writer that wants to go deeper and try to, you know, make it more complex when it doesn't need to be. That's what happens. But
most of the time when a writer wants to put their own imprint on a character's backstory, I think that doesn't work out that well. I think one of the only times I saw it done in a way that I actually liked was J. Michael Straczynski's run on Spider-Man, when he brought up the spider totem stuff.
The spider what?
The spider totem.
Spider totem. Okay, interesting. Was Spider-Woman just not?
Go ahead.
Was Spider a woman wearing her costume too tight or something? Never mind.
Basically, it was that he's an inheritor of spider powers, essentially. And the argument they were trying to make was, did the spider give Peter his powers before the radiation killed the spider, or was it the radiation itself that mutated the spider to give him the powers? Right. But either way, he's now part of this tapestry that involves animalistic powers in people.
Yeah, I didn't like a lot of the retconning that was done to Spider-Man's origin. You know, the idea that his parents were these super secret, you know, spy agents and things like that was he was supposed to be an everyman. And, you know, the idea was that, you know, in the Marvel universe, this, you know, ordinary people can become empowered to be superheroes and supervillains, you know, just by, you know, going through their lives. And when you start saying, well, no, Peter Parker's parents were these, you know, badass secret agents, scientist people, to me that undermines that whole idea.
Yeah, for that one, I blame the 90s because, they were originally spies, then they were double agents, and then they were triple agents, and it's like, no.
Right. Yeah.
Have them be ordinary people that were killed.
Yeah. I wasn't either. When they did that in they decided to go with that for the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, where his parents weren't secret agents, but they were they were into some Nix level stuff with Oscorp. I thought that was okay. You're embracing that. You know, it's like, I guess if you have to make your movie different, go ahead. But you know,
Yeah, that was okay in my opinion. But the whole
Yeah.
secret agent, CIA spy stuff, no, that was dumb.
yeah,
Especially,
Yeah.
Harry bringing them back as robots.
right, yeah, it was.
Hey guys. Hey, thanks for having me real quick. I gotta actually start on a video, so I need to bounce out. I'll be listening in the background though. Good to see you, Vile.
All right.
It's been a minute.
Later, Florida man.
Later,
dude.
boss. Hey, swing underground sometime, Vile, if you can. You get a few minutes sometime this week. All right.
Well, this week
If
is
you
going to be a
can.
pain.
Yep. Well, I'm a pain, so yeah, you're just adding pain on top of pain. But
Oh,
all
I
right,
can
guys. Love
testify
you.
to that.
Be good.
But yeah, some of that storyline was just so quintessential 90s, and it was right before Maximum Carnage, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff
Well,
happened.
Marvel had a problem in that period as well, where it was called typical Marvel overkill, where if something sold well and people liked the idea, they would flood the market with that. So when Venom caught on as a villain, they decided to give him his own series and had him in every Spider-Man book for a long time, and it was they would do that. I mean, it wasn't so bad in the 80s. I mean, we had 3 Spider-Man books. That was fine. You had at the end of the 80s, you had 3 ongoing Punisher books. But when in the 90s, it went crazy. Not only did they have to have 3 books of their own, but they had to guest star in everybody else's book, and it was just frustrating for a lot of creators working for Marvel at the time.
Oh, kind of like Wolverine syndrome, where all of a sudden Wolverine's the only X-Men on both teams. He's also guest starring in Factor. He's got his own solo series, and it's like there's no way in hell all this stuff takes place in the same universe, because he'd be in like 8 different locations every day.
Joss Whedon, when after Firefly ended, he shot a pitch to Marvel Comics, and Marvel was like, bending over backwards to because the prospect of having Joss Whedon writing an X-Men book, and he did a 2-year stint where he had John Cassidy as his artist. But Marvel was so excited, they said, okay, we're gonna give you your own X-Men title, because we want the Joss Whedon run to begin with a #1 issue. So they gave him his own X-Men title. But he says the one caveat was he had to have Wolverine on the team. Well, he had Wolverine on the team, but Wolverine never said anything. He was always in the background, because he didn't want to emphasize, that character at all. He wanted, and what was funny was in analysis, he gave personalities from Firefly to the X-Men. So his version of Kitty Pryde was very similar to the mechanic on Firefly. What was her name?
Jules.
Kaylee, Kaylee, and Malcolm Reynolds and Cyclops. He made them basically the same character, fight dirty, that kind of thing, and but people loved it, and I just think it was funny that he said, "Yeah, I'll have Wolverine in there," and he didn't use Wolverine. Was on the cover. He might go like 2 or 3 issues and not say anything. He was strictly a background character, and I just thought that was so hilarious that yeah, I'll take Wolverine, sure, and
I think it was like a couple of weeks ago, I was watching a YouTube video about the Exiles, and they were bringing in. Did you ever read that book, Darren?
No, I did not.
They brought in the Marvel 616 because it was all about multiversal characters, and this is all before all the multiverse stuff that's going on today. But I think that's why the person doing the video about it was because they were kind of comparing and contrasting the stuff. One of the few characters from the Marvel main universe 616 was the X-Men character Beak.
Yes.
And when I was listening to that part of the video, they were going through his entire storyline, and I'm like, I have to look up this character, and I'm looking up this character. I'm like, I'm falling in love with this guy. He's a guy that looks like a fucking bird, but other than that, he has no mutation, no superpowers. And they're
Right.
like, his best power is he makes friends.
His Beak's Beak got the short end of the stick when it came to mutation. He's not like Angel, where Angel got the best aspects of a bird. He got the wings. He was able to fly. Bird got every bad thing about it being a bird. He had bird feet. He had a bird beak. Obviously, his arms were bent wrong, like wings. And I think that was a Grant Morrison character. I think that was what that was. But yeah, he was. I think Grant Morrison has this thing where every comic he does, he has to have a character like that, a sad sack, woe is me kind of character, and yet showing that they have personality triumphs over adversity kind of deal.
Yeah, I was looking up. I want to go back and read some of his comics, or at least the comics that starred him, because he seems like such a fun character to have.
Yeah. Well, I read X-Men in the 80s back when it was one title, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in early 80s, you had the first spin-off of the X-Men, I believe, was New Mutants, right? And I didn't get to read that one because my spinner rack, the place where I bought comics, didn't carry it, so I only had access to the X-Men. Then the second X-Men title I read was X-Men Classic, which was basically a reprint series of the X-Men comics that started with the introduction of the second generation of X-Men, Wolverine and Storm and those guys. And the way they made it fresh was they would include a 10-page original story in that comic that took place in that era. So that's where I learned about X-Men that nobody talks about anymore, like Thunderbird and Banshee and stuff like that. But then by the end of the 80s, there were so many X books out there. Anything, and they all had X in the title. Even New Mutants got canceled and then replaced with a series called X Force. And it was like, why don't just call it Brand X now?
Even the Exiles was they branded under the X-Men header because it was little e big X to signify it was an X-Men title. And almost everybody that was on the team, even though they're from different multiverses, almost everybody is an X-Men.
Yeah.
I like that show, Mutant X. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah. But
That is nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I know, but still.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny too because in the 80s, that's when I think Jim Shooter got rid of a lot of gimmick books. Now, a gimmick book back then was a book like Marvel Team Up, where it was Spider-Man. It was technically a Spider-Man comic because Spider-Man was in every issue, but it had the character team up with some other character from the Marvel universe in every issue. So whoever was the writer of that comic had to have a prominent guest star sometime in every issue, and the guest stars had to be approved by editorial, and so you're trying to write a year's worth of stories, and you have to work around this gimmick. Another one that they had was called Marvel 2-in-1, which is the same premise except it was the Thing teamed up with somebody every month. And Jim Shooter eventually got rid of those titles. He replaced them with solo books. So Marvel 2-in-1 became the Thing, and Marvel Team Up became a book called Web of Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that was that late 90s?
No, that was in the 80s. That was in the early 80s. The Marvel Team Up and Marvel 2-in-1 were 70s books.
I'm just remembering all the clone era stuff from the 90s because they had
that was later. Yeah.
Peter Parker Spider-Man. They had Amazing Spider-Man. They had Web of Spider-Man. They had what was the other ones? There was like 5 Spider-Man titles that were just Spider-Man every freaking month, and it was insane to keep up with.
Yeah.
I still,
I mean,
I had thousands of them.
oh yeah, Punisher was the same way. You had the Punisher, you had Punisher Warzone, and you had Punisher War Journal. They were, and of course the gimmick behind War Journal was it was a the story was always narrated by Frank Castle, writing in his journal. The idea that this guy who guns down criminals is going to take the time to write in a journal was kind of funny to me. But yeah. And then, of course, Punisher was guest starring everywhere too. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just thinking he was trying to flex his creative writing muscles from that one class he took in college.
Yeah, but I mean, the how was I getting at? The whole idea of the guest star, it's always to boost sales. I mean, when Hasbro entered into a partnership with Marvel Comics to produce or to actually come up with a mythos around it for the Transformers, because Hasbro didn't have what do they call it? They didn't have a mythos for the characters. All they had were these two toy lines from Japan, Duo Clone and Micromasters, and they needed a story around them that for the American audience. They entered into a partnership with Marvel Comics, and part of the deal was, and Marvel was doing this a lot back in the 80s. They were helping toy companies come up with a gimmick or a way of with a story, basically. And so in the third issue of the Transformers Marvel comic book, they had Spider-Man guest starring. And part of the deal.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Go ahead. I know.
Yeah, he was in the black costume, which meant it was contemporary to the other issues of the time. And
he was already back in his normal costume at that point. The reason they had him in the black suit was because there was a competitor of Hasbro that was making Spider-Man figures. And
that's right.
The figure that they were promoting at the time was Spider-Man returning to his original costume.
Right.
And they were mad, the toy company was mad that Spider-Man was going to be in a rival toy company's comic book, so they made him be put in the black costume.
Yeah, interesting how that works. But the idea was that when your toy company entered into a partnership with Marvel, Marvel would integrate that toy concept into the regular Marvel universe. So Godzilla in the 70s was part of the Marvel universe at one point because he was in their comics. Conan the Barbarian for the longest time was as well. But go ahead.
I got to say this only because you just brought it up. If you have the Transformers #3, reread it.
Yep.
Because they actually mention Nick Fury's in that comic book, and he mentions, I swear to God, or he says something like, "I swear to God, if this is another giant fire-spitting lizard, I'm quitting," or something along those lines. He's referencing the Godzilla titles because S.H.I.E.L.D. fought Godzilla in another one of those books.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I mean it was funny too because they would skirt the edge a little bit, right? They couldn't say Godzilla, but they could sure as shit describe him, and so that the readers would understand what they're referencing. And I mean there was What If comics where Conan the Barbarian meets Thor, for example, and all kinds of crossovers like that. I think there was a Parker Brothers actually did, the Parker Brothers, the board game people, they tried to get into the action figure market in the very late 70s with a product called ROM Space Knight, right?
Yep.
ROM,
yep.
ROM, which obviously is a computer term, but and so when Marvel took the license, they created this comic book, ROM Space Knight, and integrated it into the Marvel universe. And what was funny was the ROM action toy only lasted one Christmas season, and then Parker Brothers stopped making the toy, but the comic book was a hit and continued publishing for like another 9 years. It was, and so Parker Brothers was always drawing these royalty checks from this comic book for a toy they didn't even produce anymore for almost a decade.
And yeah, it's everything that Marvel did around the Rom character is still in the comic books. I mean, hell, Ghost Rider for a time became a Space Knight.
Right. Yeah.
But
well, the funny thing was, go ahead.
They couldn't reference Rom anymore. So
right. The Space Knights are still a thing because those were creations of Marvel, but Rom in his robot body cannot be shown or anything. I mean, in fact, there was a in the first episode, the first issue of West Coast Avengers, which was this new idea where you're going to have a team of Avengers on the West Coast because the East Coast, the regular Avengers, they live in New York, so they wanted to have another team of Avengers in Los Angeles, and so Hawkeye was going to lead this team, and it had like who will join Hawkeye in the new Avengers team, and they had these faces all over the screen, and one of those faces was Rom, the Space Knight. So the idea that they could have put him in the Avengers at that point was funny. But yeah, the human version of Rom is they can still have him in the Marvel comics because that was a version they created. They can't have the likeness of the action toy. That's the big one, right? But I mean, Rom the Space Knight was in. I mean, I have issues with the Incredible Hulk where he's in there. Both as the robot from before when they had the license and after as a humanoid. After they lost the license. And the Space Knights, their Space Knights are still part of the MCU the Marvel Comics universe.
Yeah.
So
what was the villains again? The Shadow Wraiths. They're still
the Vile Wraiths. Yeah. They're still around. Yeah, you had and Rom had some really weird weapons and things. He had a gun that basically shot a light on you that would burn away a dire wraith, and he in the Hulk issue that I have, he suspected that the Hulk was possessed by a dire wraith and shot him with the beam, and of course the beam just makes the Hulk angry, and
Well, I thought it was I always compared it to a Phantom Zone projector because it didn't kill them; it transported them to another dimension.
Right, that's what it was. Yeah, but I mean, what was funny was there's a lot of similarity between Rom and RoboCop because both Rom and RoboCop both basically are a person's brain and some key organs transplanted into a robot body.
It's called the cyborg.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny that way. When RoboCop came out, I kept thinking about Rom the Space Knight because it was such a similar concept.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I didn't start collecting Rom comics until the mid '90s, so I didn't equate that because I'd already seen RoboCop before I'd started collecting Rom. But
Gotcha.
it is apt. He's basically alien RoboCop.
Yep. Now, what I was getting at earlier was that Conan the Barbarian was fully integrated into the Marvel Universe. When you saw a history of the Marvel Universe, Conan the Barbarian was part of it, right? But then when in the 90s, I believe, when Marvel lost the license and it went to, I think, Dark Horse, might have been, they had to do some scrubbing. They could no longer going forward mention Conan the Barbarian, any stories in which Marvel superheroes encountered through time travel Conan the Barbarian. They had to either say they don't remember the guy's name or or the entire story would be deleted from continuity. And then of course Marvel recently got the license back. And when they got it back, it was so hilarious because they actually had Conan the Barbarian just join the Avengers, which is that Marvel overkill we're talking about of today, where they basically changed the Avengers into the Marvel's version of the Justice League, meaning if you're a main character and you're a popular or legendary main character, you're in the Avengers, whereas before the Avengers did not represent all of the heavy hitters. So, for example, Wolverine only became a Revenger very recently after this editorial change. Spider-Man was famously never an Avenger. He tried out for it, and when he found out that you didn't get paid, it wasn't a job. He decided not to join. But he's always been an ally of the Avengers.
Yeah, I thought he was always they always put it in, if I remember correctly, from the Clone era. He was a backup Avenger, or a what's the term for someone who's in backup? Reserve Avenger.
He was a reserve. He was a reserve member of the Avengers, is what they referred to him back then. It's like technically the Hulk was an Avenger, but he was kicked out of the team in issue 2 because he's too volatile. And so, as a rule, generally the Hulk never teamed up with the Avengers very much at all, except for very, very few huge events, right? Generally, as a rule, he was just, he was just considered a solo character. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
Oh God, I don't know even how we got on this subject, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's another license that I just love, and I didn't know about this, and I remember seeing the action figures, and I know that Marvel had a comic book about it, but it was called Crystar the Crystal Warrior. And what was interesting about this was Marvel got this bright idea. They said, look, we've been creating these successful toy concepts for toy companies. Let's make our own toy, and we'll come up with something. And they came up with Crystar the Crystal Warrior. The gimmick was that all the action figures were made out of clear plastic or transparent plastic in different colors, so that the characters were essentially crystal people. They were supposed to be made of glass or whatever. And that was the Crystar the Crystal Warrior bombed. I think it got canceled after 9 issues, and the toy didn't sell very well because I think action figures were starting to lose their pizzazz by about the mid 80s. They weren't as popular, and so that was kind of funny. And for some reason, Marvel never wants to utilize or bring up Crystar the Crystal Warrior. He's actually got a pretty interesting look. The only people that have brought up Crystar the Crystal Warrior that I've seen in the mainstream media are Robot Chicken, and the running gimmick is that because Crystar is made out of blue crystal, everybody thinks he's meth. And so people are constantly trying to break pieces off of him and smoke him and stuff like that. That's the joke. Yeah.
I've never seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that's before my time, because that's 83.
Yeah. But I mean, he was sort of like a He-Man character. He was a character with a sword, right? And you had these great pieces of art by Bill Sienkiewicz where he's holding up a sword and triumphantly and all that. And so it was part of that thing where you had He-Man, you had other concepts like Black Star, and other clones, from other toy companies and things. And they tried to cash in on that, and that didn't work, So
a while back, Dandelion brought up the fact that when we were talking about Godzilla and Marvel, she goes, "Wait, what? Godzilla? Why can't we have a Godzilla in a current Marvel movie? That would be awesome."
Yeah,
I would love to see a crossover between modern Godzilla, like the Monarch era Godzilla, just be ported into MCU and have license him for one movie. Come on, Toho would be down, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's funny too because there's this giant robot in Marvel Comics that comes from Japan called Red Ronin, and when you read the origin of the character, it's like the most epic sentence ever written. It's like created with cooperation by Tony Stark from Stark Industries. Red Ronin was designed to fight Godzilla, and you're like, that's a movie right there. I mean, that's it's like the most epic thing ever, and it never happened. Red Ronin is barely ever utilized in Marvel Comics because they have to alter things because Godzilla is no longer a part of the MCU. Another thing, it's kind of weird, happened with Shang-Chi, the Master of Kung Fu. Originally, he was the son of a Fu Manchu.
Yep.
Because Marvel was doing Fu Manchu comics or had a license to use those characters, and then when that license went away, suddenly Shang-Chi was retconned where his father was the Mandarin, which was an Iron Man villain, and because that was the closest thing they had to Fu Manchu. So so if you're a Shang-Chi fan, you're
Darren, it's pronounced Shang-Chi.
no,
It's like-
no,
it's
it's
like-
not. The
it's
creators
like-
the creators of the comic book pronounced it the way I'm pronouncing it. So
It's like calling you doing. Like calling you doing.
We lost
It's
Jordan.
Oh,
it's okay.
no.
He's a fictional character, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. Fuck it.
But yeah, I don't like the fact that they made him the Mandarin's son. I don't. Granted, I don't think they should have kept him as the son of Fu Manchu, obviously.
Right.
But because maybe I'm in the minority here as far as I know, but I loved how in Iron Man 3, the Mandarin was some guy, some actor. I loved that twist. I know he was important, but I liked
Killian.
what was done in the movie.
Killian was the Mandarin.
No,
he
Killian.
said it at the end of he said it. He said it at the end of the movie. You're looking for the Mandarin. I am the Mandarin, and he exposes the Mandarin's tattoo on his chest. See, Marvel back then was combining villains. So, for example, Whiplash in the second Iron Man movie was actually a combination of Whiplash and the Crimson Dynamo from Russia, and you had amalgamations. So Hela, for example, or Hela from in the Thor movies was a combination of the Enchantress, Hela, and also Angela, a more recent character that was added to the MCU. So, that's what they do. And so Killian was just another one of those character mergers. But then, in Shang-Chi, you find out that there actually was a Mandarin, and that Killian was impersonating him, and so was, the Ben Kingsley character, and he laughed at the name Mandarin. He's like, they named me after a chicken dish, But yeah.
Well, in my opinion, when Killian says I am the Mandarin, I think he was just trying to get a reaction out of Tony, because he's the guy who came up with the idea of the Mandarin. But he was not really the Mandarin in any sense of the word from the comic books. He was just a guy who fits off at Tony with fire powers.
Right. I mean, the actual Mandarin, there was a lot of people that thought that they were going to have the Mandarin in an Iron Man movie at some point, and one of the things that people were talking about was speculating, because in the comic, the idea is that the Mandarin has these 10 rings on his fingers and thumb.
Wow.
And each ring has a different magical ability. So he fights Iron Man, who uses technology with magic. And of course, they changed the nature of the 10 rings to the name of his terrorist organization and a few other things. But people were assuming that maybe he'll have a tiny little arc reactor in each ring. But then they came up with something very different. But I still think that the original concept of the Mandarin could have made a really great villain. It's just that right now Hollywood doesn't like the idea of white guys as the good guy and Asians as the bad guy.
Well, I would have done something. Did you ever watch the Invincible Iron Man cartoon?
Yeah.
The movie, not the show. Sorry.
Yes, I even have it.
See, I would have done it that way, where the Mandarin was a historical figure within Chinese history, and it's after the events of Iron Man 3, you have someone trying to rebuild his actual legacy because they were a descendant of him, and they didn't like what Killian and what's his name did to the name Mandarin. Yeah. Have it done that way. The way they did it in Shang-Chi, I didn't like as much.
Yeah. Shang-Chi was the thing I didn't like about it was the whole 10 rings idea, because Shang-Chi is supposed to defeat people just with martial skill, and I didn't think the character needed magic, bracelets. Or it was a great movie, and I thought he was awesome until he puts on the magic bracelets, and then all of a sudden he's this new thing nobody recognizes.
Yeah,
I'm going to start filming part 2.
movie. I still enjoyed the movie. I just thought the villain was stupid.
They're getting ready to film part 2 here.
Yeah, I like the whole dragon stuff, and
yeah, I have no issue them bringing more Far East mythology into the series. I mean, that's fine by me. You can do it with any culture, as far as I'm concerned. The MCU,
right. Well, what's funny to me is that China didn't like Shang-Chi. It's like they don't want American movies that show them.
Well, did they not like it because was he actually Chinese? I thought he was something else.
Well, he was in China. I mean, they don't like that, and they were not impressed with Aquafina.
I think she's funny.
I think she's funny. She's got a stupid ass name, but she's funny.
She's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, she sounds like, and I thought she was quite charming and funny. I kind of like the fact that she sounds like she smokes a lot, and
she does.
yeah, and
she kind of reminded me of that guy from the Ant-Man movies, who they would always, they would talk and they would do these weird flashback things. You know what I'm talking about? The comedic relief.
Yeah.
That's who she reminded me of, and I don't have an issue with them redoing that type of character for another MCU guy, because that's what she was meant to be, was comic relief.
Yeah, it's kind of like nobody really got mad at Iron Man for having the Mexican fella that told the stories, because he was entertaining. But when you get somebody like Aquafina, who some people don't find entertaining, then all of a sudden that's a problem.
You mean the
I don't
Louis
think
caps?
anything else she's been in that I can name offhand, because I don't care about the actor or the actress, whatever.
Crazy Rich Asians. What else was she in? I can't remember.
Yeah, you were able to name one thing that she was in, and I've never seen it.
Sorry, Aqua. I don't know if we're going to look up anything right now. Ugh. I can hear somebody's typing.
I'm not typing. Mrs. Vile sent me a picture.
You were tapping, not typing.
So, what else do you guys want to talk about, since no one else is on the panel?
Check your messages.
No, she was sending me a picture that we took on our second date from 6 years ago. Because I think it was our second date. I can't remember.
Oh, that's bad, dude.
Oh, she knows how horrible my memory is with this kind of stuff.
That is when you write shit down.
Damn it. Laughed and coughed at the same time.
Let's see, what's going on in the world?
Oh, yeah, let's not talk about what's going on in the world. Because if I started talking about what was going on in the world, I'd get canceled, I'm pretty sure.
Well, okay, how about this? 34 years ago, today, The Simpsons premiered on television.
Yay. Thank you for making me feel old, Elihu.
You're welcome. Have you seen the latest trailer for Aquaman?
Only because it's been on so many ads on things that I've seen I was scrolling through TikTok because I get a notification when my daughters post something. And like every other time, I'd watch one of their videos, I'd scroll up and it would play the the Aquaman trailer. I'd go past it to another video my kids posted. Then the next thing would be another ad for Aquaman. It's just they're advertising it so freaking much. I can't avoid it.
Coming up
Maybe
with
that's
fire. Salvatierra, Mexico. Where is that? Southern?
You know, of the trailers that I've seen recently, there are two that kind of, and I've become so jaded with what happened to Marvel that trailers don't really excite me that much in general. But these two kind of did. One was the Fallout trailer for Amazon Prime, and then the other one was Furiosa.
I did see the Furiosa trailer. I did enjoy it, but I've been doing everything possible to avoid the Fallout stuff because I just want to watch the show when it comes out as a Fallout fan. I don't want to be
Right.
surprised. I don't want to be spoiled by anything. I don't want to know anything about the characters. I want to go in as a complete blank slate, just as I
Yep.
would if I was playing one of the fucking games.
Right. So you haven't seen the trailer, so we shouldn't talk about the trailer then. Okay.
No, but if you want to talk about anything Fallout related, have you watched any of the Fallout fan films?
I have not. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, I have seen a couple. Yeah, that's right.
If you, I don't know. I remember the studio that produced them, but the Nuka Break ones are freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're funny. They have an interesting story that ties back into New Vegas and Fallout 2. And
I
I thoroughly enjoy them.
I can tell you that the show is about a vault we haven't seen before in games, and it takes place in and around Los Angeles, probably to save money.
But that already makes me upset because Fallout 1 and 2 already took place in parts of Los Angeles.
Okay. Well, maybe it's maybe who knows? I mean, the main protagonist, the vault dweller who leaves the vault, is also a really cute female, which I didn't have a problem with since the games let you usually choose the male or female as far as what your character is, so 50-50 chance there. But the guy who there's a ghoul sheriff or something, and he is played by the villain from the second Ant-Man movie, who was in Hateful Eight too. You'll know him when you see him. He's got a southern accent that's pretty pronounced. What?
You're not talking about Lawrence Fishburne, are you?
No.
You said the villain from the second Ant-Man movie.
Yeah, not Black Goliath. The villain, the guy with the southern accent.
God, because I thought Ghost was the villain of that one, with Lawrence Fishburne's character being her.
Okay, remember I guess he may have been. He was obviously not the only villain, but he was the he talks like this, and he was a rich guy. The scene with the limo where Ant-Man is turned into a giant, and at the end of the movie, Ant-Man becomes big and scares the crap out of him, and it's.
Sorry, I'm going back. I'm trying to remember because I have.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry.
All right, motherfuckers. All right, hold on.
You look that up. I'm gonna get some more coffee.
You'll know him when you see him because, and then you'll kick yourself for not remembering this guy.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch that freaking movie just to remember who you're talking about.
Yeah, hold up.
Okay, what did you find?
Well, I went to IMDb and I'm like, are you talking about Michael Cerveris, the guy who played Egghead?
Give me a moment. Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp. And
Do 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 boom 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 ba-doom ba-doom bam boom. No copyright if I make my own twist, right?
Walter Goggins is the actor's name, and he played Sonny Birch in that movie. A low-level criminal type who wants Pym's technology to sell on the black market. He was prominent in that movie.
I'll be honest with you, I forgot him entirely.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Yeah, he was in Hateful Eight. He was the lawman who saw who was going to be going to his town to be the sheriff, right, or whatever. And he's the one who saw through Samuel Jackson's Lincoln letter almost immediately.
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't see Hateful Eight. As much of a Quentin Tarantino fan as I am, I didn't watch it.
That's worth seeing. It's Tarantino's love letter to a lot of different genres of Western, but it's also a whodunit, which he likes to mix genres up. So,
all right. So Hateful Eight and Godzilla -1, two things that I'm gonna put on my watch list that we'll talk about next time.
Yeah.
Of course, next time is gonna be Christmas Eve, so we might have other things to talk about. But yeah, when I look up the character, I do. He's one of those character actors that you're like, oh, I know, it's that guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that. He has a very distinctive look.
Speaking of character actors, today is Bill Pullman's birthday.
Oh, good for him. Best movie president ever.
I'm actually agreeing with you. Wow.
Still love that speech.
The speech itself is great. It's the reaction to the speech by the extras and things that kind of, like the guy that gives an aggressive salute, and people make fun of that, but yeah.
Oh, and I was looking it up. Yeah, because of Danny Lang's comment about Godzilla in a Marvel movie, I don't think they would actually be able to get the license because I just looked it up. Warner Brothers is the one making the Godzilla movies for the U.S., and I don't think they'll be allowing Marvel to have Godzilla for a single movie.
But Marvel has a plethora of giant monsters already in its stable that they could bring into a movie very easily. There's Fin Fang Foom. There's all the monsters that they created when they were Atlas Comics. A lot of people don't know this, but originally they were Timely Comics, and they published Captain America, the Human Torch, and Namor. And then in the 50s, because superhero comics kind of had waned, they changed to basically a monster comic book publisher. So they would do little morality tales featuring giant monsters, where explorers would come to an island and there'd be a giant golem or something, or a giant dragon, or anything that was a sound, chasing them off the island so that they wouldn't exploit natural resources and all that happy horse noise. So I mean, they have got a lot of designs they could use. Fafnir the Dragon is another great example. That was a Thor villain. He was and Thor fought him a couple times, and he's basically a Godzilla-sized Norse dragon.
Yeah, but there's when it comes to the cultural zeitgeist, there's a big difference between a lot of the ones you're mentioning and Godzilla.
Right. You would have to, yeah. I mean, obviously but I mean, if you want to see Marvel superheroes, and I don't really want to see the current crop, but I mean, if you want to see Marvel superheroes fighting a giant monster, they've got lots of, and they could make that monster a legendary thing like they did with Thanos, right? Nobody knew who Thanos was before the first Avengers movie in terms of like the cultural zeitgeist of America. But by the time we got to Infinity War, and especially after Infinity War, Thanos was, I mean, every other IP was copying Thanos. I mean, World of Warcraft actually had, shortly after Infinity War, created a villain that was basically a ripoff of Thanos. So,
Do you know why Thanos worked? Because it's basically because every
built up to it.
superhero,
Yeah.
every superhero movie or comic, you have a equally powered hero fighting an equally powered villain. Thanos was
Right.
multi-powered. Like that's why
Right.
he worked.
Well, that and then he also had his own team, his
It was Obsidian.
his Obsidian, his cult or whatever with
Yeah,
the Maw and those characters were actually pretty great too. I mean, but yeah,
And
you didn't
I was
really
just
need
looking.
them. Go ahead.
I do think I'm thinking, well, maybe they could bring something like Power Rangers into it. But when I was looking it up, Power Rangers has been in both DC and Marvel, so I don't think that's another one that's going to be in the movies anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because Marvel did a bunch of the Power Rangers comics, and then DC did a Power Rangers Justice League crossover.
Yeah. But now that
has the license for Power Rangers, and from what I hear, they're doing a great job with it. I want to go back and read it, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah. No, the Incredibles, because they're owned by Pixar, which is owned by Disney, and Marvel is also, they could actually have a crossover with them, have live action, actors playing them, or go the opposite route and have a digital cartoon. But it's one of those things where I think Pixar has been given a degree of autonomy because they seem to make what they want, and maybe there is some interference from Disney. I don't know, but there's all kinds of things they could do. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, right now Disney needs to start actually making crowd pleasers in order to save their asses. It's so amazing to me how quickly they were able to sabotage the success of the MCU so quickly after Infinity War. I mean, within a couple of movies, no one is interested in those movies anymore. I mean, some people are, but figuratively, I'm speaking figuratively here.
Dude, it's because they are making them what fan requests, what fans want, not what the creators want. It was great when the creators did what they wanted. It's like, okay, yeah, these are fan theories, it's been great, but continue with the creators and people still loved it. Now they're pandering to what the fans want. It's like, hey, I'll do this, do it that way. They do it that way.
They're not. No, it's the opposite, Elihu. They're not pandering to the fans. They're pandering to isolated, addled leftist creators, and that's what's brought them down.
Why is the majority of
the last great Marvel MCU movie was Spider-Man: No Way Home?
Well, that wasn't even an MCU movie. That's a Sony movie. They just, yeah. But I would say the last great one was Infinity War. That's basically the swan song of the MCU, because everything, even Endgame that came afterwards, started cucking the whole thing, and that was where it all ended. It was right there with the snap.
Well, see, I think the MCU should have continued on with the Spider-Man like aftermath movies of the MCU. That should have been the focus of phase, or what? Shoot, what? Infinity War is the end of what phase? I don't even remember at this point. 3 or 4?
3.
Yeah. I mean, and now what's really kind of hurt them is they're doing what other studios have always done with superhero properties. They get the name of the character and then they alter it to where they think it'll work better. So instead of Namor being a half Scottish, half Atlantean, in the Atlantic, he's now a Mesoamerican, Pacific Islander. even though he's from Atlantis, which doesn't make sense. And changing they put a friggin' bone in his nose. I mean, that was there are fans of Namor who just totally tuned out to that. I think it was a mistake not to just immediately recast Black Panther. I don't think he needed to die. I think that there were plenty of actors who would have worked in that role, but people were so afraid to recast the character because we love Chadwick. Yes, I know you love Chadwick, but actors are people. People die, and you have to carry on. And to have him die in the movies was a mistake, in my opinion. They should not have done that. They've and one of the things that we found out more recently was that Kevin Feige had always wanted a black Captain America. He didn't want the original version of Captain America at all, and it was Ike Perlmutter who insisted on it, and he used his control over the IPs to influence that, and that was one of the reasons why Kevin Feige, managed to get Ike Perlmutter ousted. Well, so people assumed that Kevin Feige was the guy who was making the movies good, but what he wanted, he wasn't able to do what he wanted to do, and now he is, and we can see what happens. His material isn't any good at all.
And that's
Knowing what happened.
It's not my opinion; it's fact.
This
is all documented. This is all documented. It's all documented. Well,
I like his movies. That's why it's your opinion.
So what if you like his movies? I'm talking about the numbers. The numbers aren't lying, Elihu. They had a mainstream, general audience, money making machine, and now they don't.
We'll see. Well, I'll just say from my perspective, I do like the way they handled Steve Rogers in this story. And I do like the fact that the Falcon took over for him, because in the comics, didn't both Bucky and Falcon take over for Captain America at various times?
Temporarily, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's because in the comic books, everyone gets brought back to life because status quo is king. But
right.
In the MCU, people seem to die for real, at least for the most part. So
Right.
I don't have a problem with the Falcon taking over, and I won't have a problem if Bucky takes over later on.
Well, the movies,
Because it
Bucky
makes
doesn't
sense
want
with
it.
the character.
Well, Bucky's Captain America outfit made him look like Captain Puerto Rico. It was kind of funny because it looked like the Puerto Rican flag, not the American flag on his body. But yeah, I mean, I didn't like the Bucky cap either. Those stand-ins. It's just like the Azrael Batman. Nobody liked him either, and the stand-ins never seemed to work.
Okay, since you brought him up, I'm going to say it. During the original Nightfall thing, when Azrael became Batman, everyone in my elementary school was loving that thing. They thought, "Oh, Batman's so cool now." And I look back on it, and I'm like, "How the hell did I think this guy was cool?"
Right, because it was different, and once the difference wore off, that was it. It didn't have any staying power. Everybody knew that Bruce Wayne was eventually going to come back anyway. That this was just a temporary thing. So, it wasn't the status quo. And, yeah.
But I just remember everyone loving the costume, and I look back at him like it's 90s cringe to the max.
It is, yeah, very much so. I mean, in what I remember was he started out wearing the actual Batman suit, but gradually incorporated more of his Azrael armor into it until finally it was just basically Azrael's suit with a Batman hood on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that final costume, I remember everyone thinking how cool it looked, and I'm now looking like I was an idiot back then.
Oh, it was the busiest.
Speaking of idiots, look at the last comment.
It was the typical 90s, over engineered, I mean, it kind of reminds me of all the suits that had all sorts of non-necessary straps and buckles and things. They just did that because it looked cool. These were fashion accessories and not functional outfits.
I had to,
God.
Jordan. I had to, dude.
I may have grown up in the decade, but '90s comics were so cringe a lot of the time.
Yeah, especially the X-Men.
Yeah. I remember when Venom took off and Marvel decided that they needed to publish a lot of Venom stories, and there was an artist named Mark Bagley who would always draw Venom with this tongue that would come out, and it's like, how is this character even talking right now? Because his tongue is just out in the air, and the tongue has spikes on it, and it's like, is he just communicating telepathically? Because back then it wasn't established that Venom talked telepathically, so that was but we had they had a lot of '90s cringe where a lot of superhero outfits that have been just fine for many years, suddenly they're adding buckles, they're adding straps, they're trying to make them look like S&M gear.
Sorry, I'm trying to bring something up because I want to, since we were mentioning it. And I never had an issue with Venom's tongue, only because I figured that was always part of the symbiote.
Right.
And it's just covering his whole mouth, and headcanon stuff. But
Right,
I'm trying to bring up.
It defied. You're trying to see, okay, where in this body is the actual human's body, and where what part is Venom, and they basically didn't. They didn't obey any real physical laws or whatever regarding the human body. So, it's kind of like the same. They did the same thing with Wolverine's claws. I mean, there's no room in the human forearm for those things to be housed, and the mechanism doesn't even really work if you think about it, because of your wrists. But the idea is that he has this weapon that's just so handy. It's literally part of him.
All right, this is what I was talking about, and I think you were talking about a little bit. If you look at the screen, Darren.
Yeah.
Peak '90s cringe. You have a symbiote-covered superhero decked out with a big-ass gun, straps all over the place. I mean, it was established that Venom can make pockets and hide stuff in there so it doesn't have to be out. But no, he's wearing ammunition belts and everything. It's just so.
Yeah.
I need a starship. What the hell is the point of all that?
Well, here's one better.
Oh crap! It's the Wild Child.
This was Thor's '90s costume. I'm sharing.
Hold on, let me. Oh God!
What?
Instead of the hammer having a leather thong at the end of it, it had a chain, and you had straps and exposed abs, and it was no helmet. This big red thing on his chest. Nobody cares. It was a time. Let me tell you, that's
Okay.
'90s cringe right there.
What, I'm stuttering, but I'm thinking that is definitely Liefeld.
No, that's Mike Diodato. It says his name right down below there, Mike Diodato.
I know, but the thing is,
yeah, it's inspired by what Liefeld did.
And you can't see the feet.
Right? Yeah.
Tactical assault Venom. Come on up, sweetheart.
But, let's see.
God, going back like Young Justice. Going back to reading some of that stuff, it is just so bad.
Yeah, '90s Wonder Woman.
Okay, costume looks fun. What the hell is she doing with her spine?
Yeah, I mean that was she's striking a supermodel pose, meant to be taken for the picture, but I mean this was, what they did. She basically was wearing a jacket over S&M gear. This was '90s cringe, man.
Humans don't have legs that are that long, combined with the fact that her waist has no room for her internal organs and spine.
In comics, it doesn't matter. Apparently, that was what they thought in the 90s.
Yeah, Danny Line had that one image you showed. Devotee of the flying spaghetti monster with the hair. And
That's been going on forever.
what are you trying to say to Caddy there? Caddy, did you hear some latest news about CB? What about the Care Bears?
Not Care Bears, Clyde Bonnie. Josh Gates found a medicine bottle that was in the field where they recuperated to treat a gunshot wound, and the sister-in-law, the brother-in-law, and his wife, where they were gunned down. He allegedly found that the was it, hydrogen peroxide bottle in the field.
No.
He's getting it tested.
What does that matter? I don't care. They found a hydrogen peroxide bottle for a gunshot. That makes sense.
And from the Clyde Bonnie gang, from the gang.
Maybe they
You're
were
saying
trying
it's
to buy
just
their hair.
money just because it was attached to him? Because of it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a significant amount of money is attached to that bottle that it's actually proven to be connected to the gang.
Sorry, I think that kind of stuff is dumb. It's like going online and seeing, you know,
Yeah, the Barrow gang. Thank you. Sorry.
think of an actor, but random actors used Kleenex. Who the fuck cares? I don't, fuck it.
Well, I thought Katie might want to know, so hey.
Well, I think she should join the panel for a little bit. I know she probably just woke up, but who cares?
Damn, it's hard to
Just woke
smoke.
up.
Has headache? No. Oh.
Caffeine helps.
So does loud music.
Yeah. Play some good Rammstein. Seriously, the beats and the music helps relax you.
You would care if
Yeah,
you found it and some sucker who does for big money. Okay, you're right. Absolutely, Dandelion. I would definitely try to find a sucker. Then I'd try to find someone to buy it. But I'm bummed.
Wah, wah, wah.
Rim shot. Oh, and Cinnabon's here. And Cinnabon helped me realize something about something I posted on Twitter. I had a cell phone case that I couldn't identify for what cell phone it was.
Oh yeah, I saw that. What was it?
He said it was for the iPhone 4, and when I looked at it, it looks like the holes match up.
Oh, okay.
It looks like he was right.
That is a cool little Star Trek case.
Jordan says, "Hey, Caddy, since you're a fan of Bonnie and Clyde, I got a video in my shorts feed of the getaway vehicle when they robbed our local bank." Well, I'm pretty sure she's already gone to the casino in Prim that has the death car. I don't. At least I think she's been up there. I don't know if she actually got to see it because I know it was closed for a while due to COVID, and then they decided to remodel the hotel.
Damn, I wanted to go to the donut shop and it started raining. Shit.
Oh, she says nope, not yet. Well, we'll check to see if it's open. Maybe we'll go up for your birthday. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's saying one for his old phone, but I'm anal retentive, but I got to check for myself. That's why I'm looking at the picture of the iPhone to see if all the holes matched.
Ba-dum bum.
Alrighty, well, I gotta take off. I want to thank you for having me.
Alrighty, I'll probably end the stream then in 10 minutes or so,
Alrighty.
unless other people decide to join the panel. But thanks for joining, Darren.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Later. Oh, this is a second ago. Dropped mine within 3 feet of my screen, so shattered. Dude, I dropped my phone several hundred times. I'm at Disney World. I'm sitting 3 feet. I drop it. My screen cracks. I'm like, what the hell is up with this?
If I post it, it's just going to be as a Game Boy case. I'm not going to say anything about it being protective because it's just thin rubber or thin silicone. It's just, you're buying it for the Game Boy aspect.
Yeah, do not drop your phone at Disney World. The concrete is hard as rock.
Hello.
Dandelion, how's her favorite British Canuck?
I'm good. I just thought I'd scoot up for a couple of minutes. With my cheerful little my angry otter with his festive holiday hat on.
Yeah, I want to design a bandana that could be worn in such a way that it looks like a Santa hat and even has a little ball of fluff at one of the corners.
Good call. That would be easy to do. Just get a red one.
What are you doing?
Have a white stripe right diagonally across the middle.
Reminder for tonight. Do you have clear skies? Look up.
I don't. Well, ish, perhaps. But yeah.
Yeah, if you
every
have
night, every night that has nothing going on has been clear as a bell, and every night with something exciting going on has been cloudy AF.
That is the same here. The meteor shower. The last time we had auroras, I'm like, damn it! Now
I know.
It's raining all week.
And actually, yesterday I was out hiking, which is why I'm still here today because I'm not hiking today. I hiked yesterday. Oh my God, I did the equivalent of 141 flights of stairs.
Ouch.
That was tough. Today I am finishing up my Christmas cards. I painted a bunch last week, but I have to add lines in. Here, I will show you my cards. Let me just put them up. Oh.
And what'd you do, dude? You kicked off the stream.
So I got the Christmas cards I'm making. Those are the two I've done so far. And I have others, but I have to add lines. I do the paint first and do the lines afterwards. Oh my God. Okay, you can unembiggen me. That's good. That's better. I look scruffy this morning.
Scruffy looking nerf herder.
Right? Scruffy nerf herder indeed.
Jordan with Wahoo X threw her phone across the house and never broke, then got it and dropped it one time and completely shattered the screen. Yeah.
I used to get those screen protectors for my phone, and I actually find the screen is stronger than the screen protector. Because I've broken every screen protector I've ever. Right now, I don't have a screen protector on it. I've dropped it a bunch of times, and it's been fine. I mean, I do have it in a case, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I gave up on cases. The screen's already cracked.
Case for I think it's 4 years of this point.
Mike, your volume and your mic is cutting in and out.
Sorry, I don't know why it hasn't moved. But my personal cell phone, I've had for 4 years. I've dropped it plenty of times. It has no cracks on the screen, no issues whatsoever. And then a friend of mine had another phone that he had, the screen protector with a little piece of Gorilla Glass covering it.
Yep.
He had this massive case around it. He dropped it 3 inches. I am not kidding, 3 inches. It landed on a tiny pebble, screen down. The Gorilla Glass was fine. It smashed the screen behind it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And this was actually we started mankind. It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point.
Pouring tea, just so you know.
Tea, not pee.
Exactly. Tea, not pee. But yeah, no, it was actually kind of a sketchy hike. I was actually all thinking maybe I would go all the way up the mountain, but then it got to the point where I was going to have to do too many things that I didn't want to climb back down from. Like climbing up is pretty easy, but climbing back down can be a lot more sketchy. And I was on my own, and it's not a trail that many people go on. So I didn't know if there was anyone like above me that was going to like come across me if I had fallen and, you know, broken my leg or something, or brain or whatever. And it was afternoon, so I didn't think anyone was going to be coming up behind me, because the sun is like, it's dark by 4 o'clock. Pretty much like nobody's going to be heading out, and it was already like 2. So I'm like, I don't want to take a chance.
I don't blame you.
So I probably could have climbed higher, but here, let me see if I can find a photo that gives a bit of an indication of the incline I was on.
Well, it's funny to say that I'm really having a conversation with one of my daughters, not Caddy, and complaining about how her mom won't let her go for walks. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll talk to your mom. You'll be able to go for a walk if you want.
I guess you can kind of see how steep it is. It's pretty steep.
Oh, no. You want steep? Come to San Francisco.
Well, no, it got steeper than this. And it's hard to take a photo of how steep it is, but you can kind of see from the angle between the trees and the slope.
Yeah, I can tell, but I'm used to 80-degree hills, 70-degree hills. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and there were places where you're just climbing up shit, like straight up, like rocks and stuff. And I'm like, it's too risky to do it on my own. I need to find someone who wants to do like slow hiking with me. So I'm not doing all these things on my own, but I'm like super slow. So I can't really join any of the like organizations. And most of the people who do this shit are like super fast. Whereas if I go too fast, I get asthma attacks. So, and my legs hurt. So
I just don't do hiking.
Maybe try Tinder and just imply that they'll get lucky if they go on a hike with you, and then don't let them get lucky.
Yeah. No, I don't know. That sounds like a lot of hard work. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true, Cinnabon. Yeah.
My roommate was saying last time we went to the bar that she uses Tinder instead of using Grubhub. That to me is like, well, whenever I'm hungry, I just go on Tinder, have someone take me out on a date because my profile implies I'm a slut, and I don't end up with them, and they just feed me.
Oh, I don't know. That would imply that people would actually want to have sex with me, which in real life has not proven to be a particularly consistent thing.
Well, that's the joke Amy was making, is like, well, that's because you're a 29-year-old and you weigh like 110 pounds.
Right. Whereas I'm a 52-year-old and I'm 180 some odd pounds.
Crap, it's the wild child.
Joining us.
Good morning, Cassie.
What's up?
I'll say you start talking about Bonnie and Clyde, and I don't get a choice. It's my hyperfixation. I have to talk about it.
How delightful.
I saw you in the chat. I thought I'd mention it. Hey.
No, my thought initially when you said, "Oh, they found a hydrogen peroxide bottle," my thought was, how did they know it was related to Bonnie and Clyde?
It was in the field where they gunned them down, where they were recuperating.
Is it like from the period of, I don't even know when that was. When was the Bonnie and Clyde thing?
It was the 1930s.
Okay, so nobody here was there then.
No shit. That's my thoughts. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Was the hydrogen peroxide bottle like from the period then?
Yes, it was a medicine bottle, intact, full medicine bottle in the fields where they were recuperating, trying to treat the wounds, where she was pouring, literally pouring hydrogen peroxide in his head with a gunshot wound.
Mhm. Mind you,
As
that
one does.
I'm trying to think because that most likely wouldn't actually have been Blanche that was trying to take care of him. It probably would have been Bonnie herself, due to the fact that Blanche was blinded.
Yeah, in one eye. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, she was blinded almost entirely in both. They managed to salvage one of her eyes.
Oh, I didn't know
Right.
that.
To answer your question, Daddy Lion, apparently hydrogen peroxide started selling commercially in 1908.
Cool. I mean, I wasn't questioning that part, but
My thought was, how did they know it was from them? But if they can
Yes.
date the bottle, tell it was theirs, most likely it had blood on it, probably from Buck, Clyde, Bonnie, any of them. Because all
Well,
of them were
I
injured.
guess
It
that's
was
part
just
of
Buck
the
and Clyde.
what they're hoping to find is whether it was indeed. Okay. I really should have done Christmas cards sooner.
And of course, knowing Josh, he'll just donate it to the Bonnie and Clyde Museum.
Yeah. I want to go to the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum. It looks really cool.
Daniel, speaking of people trying to do stuff sooner because of holidays, I literally had someone make an offer on something I'm selling on eBay. I'm not going to say what it was, but one, they made a offer because all my stuff is buy it now or best offer.
Yep.
1/4 of my asking price, which is automatically a decline. And
Right.
2, he goes, "This is for a Christmas present. I need you to send it out today." And I'm like
today on a Sunday?
yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Hi.
And I'm like, no.
Yeah, that sounds like a nope. That sounds
Yeah, no. Ay.
I remember during COVID, somebody in Australia bought something of mine, and I actually almost couldn't send it because there was no way to get anything to Australia. I had to send it by sea. Like I had to send it land, and it was going to take 6 months to get there. So I actually had to like message her first and go, "Hey, the only way to get this to you is like air, which is going to cost more than the item, or I can send it by ship, but it's going to take 6 months." And they were like, "Oh, that's fine." I'm like, okay. Fine by me. I mean, I don't mind if it takes longer, but I guess it wasn't a gift or anything, but never did hear if they liked it. I hope it got there. I never heard anything. But yeah, but if I had tried a week later, you couldn't even send it by ship. That was like the last ship coming out of Canada to go to Australia during COVID. That was crazy.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a guy leave a review that I was fortunately able to get off of my thing on my page on eBay because he selected Ground Advantage because it was the cheapest option to get his item.
And he wants it by Christmas. You know you're going to pay extra.
Ah.
So
People are just
this was like, around October or so, and Ground Advantage is a minimum 10 days regardless of where you are.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They send it by like Pack Pony or something, don't they?
Yeah, pretty much. It goes on a donkey for a short while.
They strapped it in the back of a cat and have it wander around till it finds the
Right, till it eventually gets there. Sounds
Yeah.
about right.
But his review was, I bought it on here because it was cheaper, but if I bought it on Amazon, it would have been here next day. This took over a week to arrive. And I'm like, you selected the slowest form of travel for it. Of course it took a long time to arrive.
No, people just don't seem to have the concept that, you know, especially if, like, because I offer free shipping for items or orders over a certain amount.
Same here.
And, but you don't get super fast shipping that way. You don't get tracking that way because from Canada, shipping is extremely expensive. I'm actually always happy when it's someone in the States that bought something because you have like a class called small parcel. Because we go straight from letter mail to full on parcel. And it's like, it goes from like, you know, $2-3 for a largish envelope to like $20 for like one skein of yarn or something like that.
Yeah, I know how expensive. I've had something shipped from Canada before, and I had to pay a little extra. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah,
What's funny is we have a form of international shipping that is a very small box about the size of a VHS tape.
right.
And if it fits in that box, it'll cost you $7 to ship it to most of Europe, Canada, Mexico, parts of Africa.
Yeah, we have those those if you can fit it in the box and it's under a certain weight, but they're still like they start at like $20 or something. It's pretty expensive. Canada shipping is really, but it's a huge country and there's not a ton of people, so the more remote you are, the more it's going to cost. So, but
Well, see, that's
yeah,
the thing when it comes to domestic shipping. That's why I like the USPS, because it is a flat rate no matter how far it goes in the U.S. and anything regarded as the U.S.
yeah,
I have shipped things to Germany because we have bases there that are technically U.S. soil, so it costs the same as if I shipped it to Elihu.
nice.
I love that aspect.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, we don't have.
When you got a German guy who's buying a game off of you, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, ship it to this military base. I realize I'm not a U.S. citizen, but they'll still let me on the base to pick up mail."
It's like cheap shipping, hell yeah.
Done. Yeah, no kidding. Nice. That's awesome.
So
$70. He was happy.
Nice. Well, that's good. Yeah, we don't have that kind of. It's still like one of the more affordable ways of shipping things, but it's not affordable. So I'm always like, oh, please let it be somebody in the States, or let it be a really like small item that I can put in an envelope, like a scarf or something like that I can, fold up
because of the military mail and everything, I have shipped things to tents in Iraq, and it only took 4 days.
Wow.
damn.
It's all right.
Oh, my Marine customers love DS and Game Boy games. Are you kidding? They love those things, so they will happily buy them even when they're back in the States.
Nice.
You might be shocked about how many Marines and naval personnel play Pokemon.
A lot.
Probably not. A lot of people seem to enjoy that game.
It said that I'm going. I have like 5 Pokemon games purely just on my Switch. That's not including my terrifying amount of the fact that I've owned I've owned both versions of most of the games. And that I've played almost every one of the Pokemon games in some extent.
Speaking of which, your brother wants to remind you to give me back my DS case because he wants to play some of my older Pokemon games.
Give me a second. I'm still trying to beat the damn ROM hack.
Use the Game Genie.
So my dad couldn't get a Pokemon Chaos Black ROM hack to work. It took me all of 5 minutes. Like he goes,
I got it to work. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, because you told me if you can get it to work, then you're more than welcome to go and play it.
Yes, but you're making your brother mad because that's the thing I usually keep in the car because I use it to test things when I'm out and about.
Not
Oot the boots. Yeah,
I
oot the
think
boots. Come on. You got a Canadian up here.
The DS that you gave me, it does not work. It does not turn on. It charges.
Which one did I give you?
I'll give it that much. It charges.
I think I have an old DS.
The DS Lite, the one that was made up of like 4 of my previous DSs.
Oh, got it. Oh, yeah. I was showing the kid one of our old DSs that we found when we were clearing out the old storage unit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When did the DS Lite come out? Hold on, I gotta look this up real quick because I want to figure out how old you were.
Oh, mine wasn't even a DS Lite, I don't think.
I have no idea.
I have like an OG DS. I think it's
4.
Oh, I
2003, 4.
That
my
means this was
DS I bought.
2007 when I gave it to you. That means 2007, you were turning 4. Okay, so 4-year-old Caddy, I gave her a pink DS for her birthday.
With
The
one
same
of the Pokemon games.
she broke it. So what I did was like, okay, fine. I took away the one I gave her was pink. I was like, okay, I happened because I resell these things. I gave her a white one to replace it. The same day, still, she breaks that one.
Well, I think your first mistake was giving a 4-year-old a DS. I mean,
Mind you, I remember this day because I remember it was like I dropped the pink one and I felt really bad about it and I was scared to tell him because I'm like, oh god, I broke it. Oh my god. And then I was playing on the white one and I had softly closed it, put it on the seat to stretch out, and then went back, opened it up, and the screen was entirely black. Like, I thought at first, and I was like a weirdly rational 4-year-old who thought it probably died.
I don't know how she did it, but she had completely shattered the top screen.
Yeah, no, I don't know what happened.
So I proceeded to take apart both the pink and the white DSs, and I switched around parts to make a single working unit again, and gave that to her. This is still her birthday. Now, this pink and white conglomeration lasted her what? I'd say what? A couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months.
I think I had it for almost 3-4 months.
And then she broke it again. So I took a second broken white DS that I had accumulated, or what? No, I'm sorry, second pink DS. Sorry, and I made another working DS out of the parts from the ones that she had, and that's the one she still has that's apparently not working.
I think this one, its circuits might have just given out finally.
I'm guessing based on what you said, it's the F1 or F2 micro fuses. It's an easy fix, but I don't have any fuses right now.
Also, I'll give it back to you. Maybe you'll find another fucked up DS Lite to fix it with.
Well, what I need to do is buy some micro fuses, and I got to get a new soldering iron. That's the issue that I have right now. Is the one I have crapped out on me, and I want to buy a good one. I'm not going to fucking Harbor Freight for another one. I want a good one.
But yeah, that's the story of the DS that's currently sitting on my table. No, because I know my first ever actual DS I bought with my own
That was the blue one.
Yeah.
And that was an original DS.
It was. I remember that.
That's the kind I have.
So excited. And I remember I had that for a good 2-3 years before I ended up breaking it.
All I have is a PS4. Sheesh.
Yeah, I remember you actually having that one while trying to show your grandma Willa how it worked, and it was funny as all hell having a 4-year-old trying to explain how a DS works to an 80-year-old woman.
It was so weird because I remember still having the pink and white one was still working. I just for some reason really wanted to have one that was my own that I bought.
Excuse me.
And I think I remember why, which was I bought it. You can't take it away from me.
I had a silver one, and we both covered them with stickers. I had the Super Mario stickers on mine, and you had Pokemon and Mario on yours.
Just to let you know, Mike, you keep going really quiet. Like we can hear you talking, but it's sort of like.
It sounds like
yeah, it's Charlie Brown. It's like a Charlie Brown teacher. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, right,
what the hell?
right there.
All I can think is it kind of sounds like he's underwater.
Yeah, or he keeps putting his hand over the microphone on whatever device he's using.
Well, I'm not doing that because it's just sitting in front of me. How do I sound now?
Now you sound fine.
All right, I turned off the auto adjust.
Hang on, I think it did it again there.
Motherfucker.
That was okay. We heard that.
Yeah, everyone heard that.
Anyway, I just thought I would let you know that had been happening for the entire stream. Now, that's as we near the end.
I've been telling that a couple times anyway, so.
Okay.
I don't
There
know
you
what's
go.
going on with it.
Yeah, maybe
No,
the microphone has a loose wire or something.
Well, it's just my cell phone. That's what I'm talking to you through.
Oh, and you're not like periodically covering the microphone?
Nope. Because I got my laptop open because I'm anytime I'm like putting someone's quote up, that's through the laptop.
Right.
Or when I'm bringing guests up, that's through the
There you
laptop.
go. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps happening. It's very weird.
The cell phone is sitting in the little, the hinge area of the laptop, and I'm not touching it.
Weird.
I think it's turned the phone upside down because maybe it's just your phone's moving ever so slightly every once in a while.
It's not.
It's not a CNA stream if something does not go wrong. Remember that.
Yep.
True. Can't argue with that. Okay, I'm almost finished card number 3.
You guys want to talk about before I end the stream?
What?
Yeah, we missed most of that, but we got the gist. Nope, I'm good. I got no particular. Oh, hey, what is there any really interesting movie coming out that I should go see over the holidays?
If
No.
If?
the Ryan Reynolds new movie. If.
Oh, if like IF.
Yes, Ryan Reynolds new movie. I saw the trailer. And I'm like, this actually looks pretty funny.
Ryan Reynolds usually does fairly humorous movies. I liked his. Was it Free Guy?
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was really good.
There is a show I watch on YouTube, and my favorite character died. My second favorite character became leader.
What show are you talking about?
It's a Warrior Cats related thing on YouTube. Yeah, no, it's dumb, and I'm sad because my favorite character died in it, and he died in like the worst way he possibly could have too.
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
So essentially, him and his brother were really close growing up.
Pretty bad way to die. Sorry.
But his brother went down a dark path, and he realized, that's bad. I shouldn't do that, and started trying to convince his brother that this isn't good. The person that's training us is not good. Please come with me back to our home. And
I'm going to bring it up only because I finally sold one about 2 weeks ago, and I meant to bring it up on the stream and I forgot. You can buy a coffee cup with the BioMike avatar at the link there, and there's also in the description. Someone bought one. I don't know who, because it's not through me, it's through another company. So, I don't know who bought one, but thank you. I made a whole 15 cents off the purchase.
Woo!
Hey, get that stick of gum.
But no, on the other hand, can I go back to what I was saying?
Fine, go ahead.
So he and his brother split paths, even though he was still trying to convince his brother that what he was doing is not good and he's being evil. He and his brother found themselves in kitty hell.
Kitty hell? Like
every character in this is a cat.
That makes a lot more sense then.
Yes. So
don't all cats go to hell? I'm sorry.
No. So there's kitty heaven and kitty hell. Him and his brother find themselves in kitty hell, which you can go to in your dream.
So basically, kitty hell would be a world where the ground is covered in like sticky tape and tinfoil, and there's no litter boxes, or the only litter box is surrounded by a sticky floor.
So Kitty Heaven and Kitty Hell. Kitty Heaven is called Starkland. Again, this is all based on the Warrior series of books.
Okay.
It's a place where there's endless hunting for these cats. where everything is peaceful, all of that kind of stuff. And Kitty Hell is called the Dark Forest. It's also known as the Place of No Stars, where all there is to walk and wander. There is no prey. These cats are starving their spirits.
It sounds kind of like pathetic and sad.
Yeah.
But if they did something bad and deserved to be there, then
Yeah.
is it right? That's exactly what I was thinking, Vile.
But fuck, I'll actually say their names. But my favorite character, his name was Pounce Splinter. His brother was named Silkfur. And Silkfur started training with another character whose name was Mint Splash. Both of them did. Mint Splash was the ex-husband, essentially, of another character named Fernheart. Essentially, very, very abusive, forced her to have kids, all of that kind of shit.
They say there's no creative stuff going on in the world.
Oh, and it's even better. He murdered her dad, her sister, her essentially other mom, because her parents were gay. They had a surrogate. He killed the surrogate, who she was really close with, one of her dads, who she was really close with, and her sister, who did not approve of him and kept telling Fern to leave him. So yeah, he was a bad kitty and got sent to hell.
See? Then I don't care. That's fine. You're horrible.
Sweetheart, actually, since we are talking about it, that was actually the name of the chat, the name of the stream. What are your Christmas Eve / Christmas plans?
I don't know yet. It depends when I work.
Is your store actually going to be open on Christmas?
Generally, we're open Christmas Eve, but I don't know if she's opening Christmas Day.
All right. Let me know if you're working Christmas Eve, because I was thinking you could join me down in Mexico.
It also depends on what my grandma and grandpa are doing.
Well, if we do that, I'd be coming back Christmas Day. So you could easily, if you're doing something with them on Christmas Day, you could easily do it. Go down with me on Christmas Eve, because you're the only one of my kids I can take down there. Because the rest of the kids are under 18, they need to have their birth certificates, and none of them have their current birth certificates that they'll accept. So that's why I can't bring them down.
Understandable.
I believe all I need is my California ID.
Yes, that's all you need.
You don't need a passport?
Nope, not to cross the California-Mexico border. You just need a California ID. But if it has to do with the agreements we have with Mexico. We have the same agreements with Canada.
No, you have to have a passport to get across the Canadian border, because I used to go across all the time with just my driver's license, and I can't do it. Never since 9/11, you can't just get across the border without a passport.
Yeah, I've been crossing for years now without my passport.
Well, it must be a different thing there.
Can I continue about how Pounce died?
Fine. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Even though apparently this whole thing caused a Elihu to leave, and I just now realized that.
Computer problems, apparently.
So he says.
Yeah, no. So, essentially, recently,
Finished another one.
So he ended up back in Kitty Hell trying to bring Fernheart somewhere. And they got separated due to his brother, Silkfur, and Silkfur ended up killing him. And it's like, something told me that in the newest video he was gonna die, and like I've been like, he's gonna die. I know it. I don't know how, but he's dead. I was right, and I'm sad about it. On another hand, my second favorite character, whose name was Hollowpath, became the leader. He is now Hollow Star. I am vaguely worried because leaders that have the blood. Huh?
Are these some of the books that I've bought for you in the past?
Yes.
Okay.
Mind you, this is a YouTube series based on the books, using a game that's based on the books.
Oh, so it's like Machinima.
Yeah. So think of it. So essentially, there's this game called Clan Gen, which is very simple. It's a pixel art game. Nyoko or Nyoko Arts, the person that makes it, takes what happens year by year and draws everything. Including, like, she essentially, normally she'd go through and just, these are the cats that died this year, this is how they died, and then it goes into the living cats.
So not like 9 lives then.
So only the leaders have 9 lives.
All right. You kind of lost me at cats, but sure.
All you need to know is that my favorite character is dead, and I'm sad.
We get it. I do hate when a character I like is killed. Sometimes.
There's only ever been 2 characters that have made me legitimately cry when they died. Pounce was one, and a different character's name was Cinnamon Feather, because I was rooting for her to get with Hollowpath, and then they did, and then she immediately died.
Mm.
And that was sad to me. I was like, you have to be kidding. We could have gotten 1 year of them being cute and mates. Damn it.
Ugh, no, that's always the death of a show when characters hook up. It's like, ugh. Then it's all about that. There's no more tension. It's like, why even bother?
Yeah, it was great on Stargate with O'Neill and Carter.
Who? Sorry?
O'Neill, Carter, they always had a little sexual tension between them.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought we learned our lesson with moonlighting back in the million years ago. Like, don't hook the characters up. Just don't do it.
On another hand, it's something Bonnie and Clyde.
There you go.
Because my 2 personality traits is whatever I'm hyperfixating on and Bonnie and Clyde.
And if it's Bonnie and Clyde, it's, oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go because I need to boil more water for tea, and it's noisy when my kettle's on in my kitchen here. So, thanks for having me. Are you going to do one next Sunday, or?
I probably will. It might not be, 2 or 3 hours long because we're going to be doing stuff at Vile's place. And hopefully Caddy will be there. We'll see if she's working.
All right. I will be around because I live alone. So what else am I going to do? Well, no, I'll probably go hiking on Saturday, depending on the weather. If the weather's really nice, I'll hike then. But we'll see how it goes. Oh.
Alrighty. Well, it was nice for once on the panel where the XX chromosomes outweighed the XY chromosomes.
Well, at least balanced out. Since there's, an equal number of.
When Elihu, it was suddenly, and I literally noticed when Elihu was gone, and it was just 2 females and me on the chat, my viewership went up to 9. And then when Elihu came back, it dropped back down to 5.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say maybe Elihu went into the stream when, and I mean I'm one of the people, so Cinnabon. Did you ever read the original book, Bambi: A Life in the Woods?
No, I never.
Oh my god, that if you want to cry, read that freaking book. The movie is so pathetic in comparison. It was like such a good book. I honestly, that's the thing. This has been always been my thing with Disney. They always make everything cute and fun, and they take these really gripping, meaningful stories and turn them into like pablum. That's always been my issue with
Oh my
Disney.
gosh, deers are a pest. Deers are pests.
Well, hold on. What was the name of the full title?
It was called Bambi: A Life in the Woods. I haven't read it in years. It's actually hard to find a copy, but
Well, I'm going to see if it's
Before Bambi, nobody thought of a deer as cute and cuddly. They are pests in the forest.
well, they're also delicious.
Yes, they are.
And they did tend to like overpopulate quite quickly if you don't if you don't have predators around. And we do love destroying predators, so
All right, I'm just trying to see if it's in the public domain.
oh yeah, there might be. Yeah, you might. I don't know how old it is.
They are.
1928.
Over 75 years, so it should be.
Well, I see a PDF available when you Google it.
Yeah, but I want to make sure it's legal to download it.
Right.
I never break the law when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Never,
ever, ever.
That's
it looks like you can buy a copy for $10 from Amazon. Oh, that's Canadian. I don't know what you would be like. Yeah, the New Yorker thing. Bambi is even bleaker than you thought. Yeah, that was definitely. Yeah, it's on Goodreads. If you've got Goodreads.
Oh, yeah, Goodreads is free.
Yeah, well, most of it you can get on good, but yeah, it should be. But yeah, if it's on Goodreads, what to read? Or you can pay $3 and do it on Kindle. But yeah, that was definitely a more. I won't even say anything. It was very different and similar. Like there was lots of stuff the same, but it was like a much more different take on things in a way. But yeah. All right, with that, I will leave you so I can go boil more water for tea.
Oh, God. Sorry. You can go ahead and head out. Thank you for joining again, Dandelion. I just wanted to read this little quote from the Wikipedia.
Sure.
In 1936, Nazi Germany, however, the government banned the original book, Bambi, what you're talking about, as political allegory on the treatment of Jews in Europe, and many of the copies of the novel were burned.
Wow, that makes it even better sounding to read.
That only makes me want to read it more. Because I have a feeling with today, I'm guessing with the political allegory of the treatment of Jews, I can see Marjorie Taylor Greene now saying, we need to ban this book from the public libraries.
Oh, God. Yeah. All these people who ban books are the good guys.
Fahrenheit 451. This is how it all began.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
It actually entered.
Right. Talk to you all next.
Sorry, it entered the public domain for the United States on January 1st, 2022.
I think I just blue screened for like a hot 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, so yeah, it is in the public domain. It is completely legal to download a copy of the PDF, but not the sequel book.
Sorry, again.
No, I need to run to the pastry shop. I'm getting hungry.
So I'm also gonna.
All right. Which one should I play? Which Strange New Worlds one should I play? Other than the Dahar song, because that one gets me claimed by CBS. We got Dahar song, we got Victory song, we got Klingon War song, we got Opera song, and we got Gangnam Style song, and we got Drinking song.
My brain wants to do the Gangnam Style song.
Okay, let me pull up headphones. It's kind of loud.
Yeah. Sound warning, folks. I can't do anything about the sound.
More singing, more voices. Hail the Klingons, hoorah! Open Klingon style. Klingon style. Open Klingon style. Klingon style. Open Klingon style. Hey, sexy Klingon style. Open Klingon style. Hey, sexy Klingon style.
All right, you're 19 years old now. I figure it's about time you got one after all your complaining.
All right, and remind me next time, Dandelion, and I'll do the drinking song one just for you. All right, so that's it. Later, folkses.
Later, weirdos.